The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Y'all ready for this?
We are back for all you metalheads as we come in. You know, you must know then it is 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and it is Monday, June 12th. Time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. Yes, I got it right, John. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And we took last week off for various reasons, so this is actually our official first show for June of 2017. But nevertheless, we have a fully booked show. We obviously have in-studio guests. These are live people. We have not photoshopped in. We don't run things like that around here. So honestly, we're really going to get right to it. Let's just get to it. With us, we have Brian Kensky. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, sir.
His son, Peyton Kensky. And Peyton is a junior at Taft High School in San Antonio, Texas. And he's been shopping camps like crazy. And he just happened to be in here last week for the UNLV camp.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And but also we're going to get to later on a program called Spornado that Brian is very close and near and dear to. He's going to get us an opportunity to discuss that. But in the meantime, gents, welcome so much to the show.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Really
Thanks for having
appreciate
us.
it. And we know you have it's been a very busy schedule for you. You've been on the run. And thank you to the ladies for cluing us in on all of the real details. And
The backbone of the operation.
Absolutely,
we're clued in on the backdrop, when they got here, what's been going on.
Right.
But I think you honestly know where you're going. But this young man has been very, very busy attending camps here. And this is really camp season for a lot of prep athletes, especially football athletes around the country. And so let's start with the young man here. Peyton, thank you very much for...
My pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, what kind of name is Peyton? I've never associated it with football.
I don't know where you... I don't know.
As soon as you're born, you're playing football, right?
Yeah, you were destined then for football. But welcome to the show, young man.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, appreciate it. So you're a junior, or are you going into your junior year?
Going into my junior year, sir.
Okay, and so it's really starting to heat up for you.
Oh, yes, very much.
All right. So let's talk about the UNLV camp real quick. How was that for you?
It was awesome. I loved the coaching staff over there. I felt very welcomed when I walked onto campus, sir.
Excellent. Sanchez has, since taking over that program over there, he is really slowly starting to turn that program around. They certainly had gone through a rough patch over the years, but he ran a very successful program at Bishop Gorman.
Yep.
And you can see where things are starting to really pick up over there. And of course, with the new stadium coming,
Oh, yes.
UNLV will be playing in that stadium. That's where they'll be hosting their games. So it is really going to open up recruiting. The recruiting dollars are going to start coming in here, and he's going to start attracting some top flight talent.
Oh, definitely, no doubt.
So what did first of all? How long have you been playing football?
I've been playing football since I was about 7 years old back in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
That's where I started off playing flag football. Moved out to Texas when I was 8, and I was put right onto the field in full pads.
Yeah.
Just been doing it ever since.
Yeah, they don't fool around down there in Texas.
No, they do not.
Yeah, so
No.
it's
the real
pretty
deal.
serious business. And so currently, what positions are you playing?
I play outside linebacker, and my secondary position when they need me is fullback.
Fullback. Okay. Yeah. Well, those are versatile positions.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you like
Shoot the
most
gap.
about each position?
I feel that they both kind of give me an opportunity to hone my skills in and broaden my spectrum of football, so I'm able to play both sides of the ball.
Excellent. Excellent. And of course, that's obviously an attraction for any university. Whether you favor one or the other, but if you can excel at both positions, that just means you're a two-way player.
Yep.
You're a star player. Yeah. So
Well, that and the fact that there's not really many fullbacks in the NFL anymore.
yeah,
It's kind of like
this sort of
a little more of a
specialist
blocking
position.
back more than anything else.
Fullbacks are definitely a dying breed. We met a father on the field yesterday at camp, and he and I both played fullback back in the day, and we hit it off very well. we consider ourselves great oddballs for being what we'll call the football dinosaur, and we just love the hitting part of it. The art of the block is a great aspect that a lot of players don't have these days, and it's very fortunate that I think Peyton here understands that concept on the fullback side. It's not just about crunking on heads, but being able to shield off accordingly when it, for his running backs going downfield.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you touch bases on that. It's an unsung position, and it really is a technical position. And I think that most people look at either the running back, the quarterback, the wide receivers, and maybe the tight end at times. But it's a very technical position. How's your footwork? I gotta ask you.
Oh, I'm slow. What are you talking about?
Well, look at the size of him. I mean,
I was going to ask you. I mean, at least had to put out there. But thank you for being candid.
well, we know where we're going to be doing some work, so that's good.
That 6'2", 40 speed.
So, is this your only son?
This is our only son.
And we've met your daughter.
We have an amazing daughter sitting right over there. She is an amazing soccer star back in Texas,
nice.
Garnering a lot of attention down there as well. Just being going from 8th grade into 9th grade now.
Oh,
fantastic! Yeah, excellent. I mean, I'm a huge soccer fan.
Us too.
So, yeah, Manchester United.
Yep.
And so I watch a lot of soccer.
Right.
And so it's to me it's just a very appealing sport.
It is. We enjoy watching it on television all the time, and we do make a big deal about it. And at least in our household. I mean, it's Saturday college, it's Friday night lights, it's Sunday NFL. But when especially the women's U.S. team is playing, we're right in front of the screen rolling on it. We have a real good time with that.
That's good.
Excellent. So you become captain of this ship that's going to be traveling this summer.
Ooh, it's you could say that. There's been a lot of road miles for us already. A lot of camps. Enjoying it though, because we have such a finite amount of time to raise our children, and I'm truly blessed to be able to spend this time on the road with him before he leaves for school in the next couple of years. And then in a couple of years I'll drive my daughter nuts as we travel the country. So yeah, we'll do it that way.
That's good.
But we went to the University of Arizona, saw a couple of buddies of mine down there. Had a real good camp down there last week, UNLV yesterday, and next week we'll be at Colorado State in Fort Collins, and then we head to San Antonio. We got a camp. We have 2 camps down there. We take a break, and then we're right back up to Colorado State on the 20th of July and out to Nevada, Reno. Sure, Coach Sanchez doesn't want to hear that right now, but
we'll make sure he gets a copy of the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
We'll
Appreciate
send over a copy of it.
Yeah.
Just in case he missed it.
Right, so we'll be out there on July 28th, and that should conclude. I think that should conclude it, don't you think? There's a lot of camps.
Stuff,
so. Right.
That is excellent, and hats off to you.
Thank you, sir,
and your family for really making this a family-oriented event. And then therefore you really get a chance to to spend time and play tourists at the same time. Well,
we're all in this mess together, and that's the best way I can describe it. We're just all in this together, and that's how it's got to be. And we're a sport-oriented family, and we truly believe that keeping our children involved in sport, keeping our children in society involved in sports, moves society forward in a better fashion. Keeps kids out of trouble.
Absolutely.
I think. So,
absolutely.
That's great.
Right. So what are you really taking away from this so far on the trip?
It's given me a lot to think about when it comes to picking colleges, but at the same time, it's a good learning experience for where I best fit in for a college.
Mm-hmm. Have you, I know this is really early, but is there something that you've seen or heard about or had a chance to visit where you said, you know what, they're moving up the ladder, I could really see myself going there?
I've gone to a lot of colleges. I've gone to a lot of places that I've always thought about going to.
Yeah.
There are quite a few that still ring of interest to me, and I'm still hoping to go and see you someday.
All right. Well, listen, the last thing I'm going to do
he left that really open. I like that.
If you had asked him yesterday.
You really did that well.
Yeah, he's
very
he did that really good. That was
I
very
didn't realize
political.
you were so political.
Well done.
Well done. You were
No, I was just going to ask you about your professional. You know, when you look at professional guys, who do you model yourself after? Who do you look at and watch?
And I've watched sports all my life, football especially, and you know, I'm always watching these guys on TV, and yeah, there's like a lot of guys I look up to, and this might sound a little corny or cheesy to say this, but the one person in my life that I really look up to is my dad sitting right here.
Nice.
Yeah, that's very nice.
So he's gonna cry. Look at that. It's pretty classic. I just teared up when he said that. That was really cool.
Well done. Very
yeah,
cool.
I mean, he's been in the sport for so long, and outside of sports, he's just an amazing person to be around. Always lifts everyone up. Always doing the right thing.
That's good.
And trying to do right by everyone.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So. I thought you were going to say John Lynch, but since you didn't.
He's a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, especially after the Rams bailed on him.
He hits a little like John Lynch hits.
Do you really? Wow.
I took him out into the backyard when what were you in 8th grade?
Yeah.
7th grade, and you know even in 7th, 8th grade, I ran fullback. He ran a middle linebacker situation on me. We did a little Oklahoma, if you will. And,
nice, okay.
Just to see what it was about. And even then, and I'm a Division I football player. He hurts. He sticks. He's got that thing where it hits right, and he tackles. He's a great grappler. He's a great tackler. But when he hits you, he's got that spear hit.
Oh.
Not that soft, hard, that softer hit, but that spear that it really pinpoint. It lets you know you got it.
Left his signature there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm still feeling it.
Listen,
still got that jaw,
lockjaw.
Yeah, I had 2 sons, and I noticed that they were getting bigger than me, and and it didn't take long for me to figure out that the little, as maybe walking down the hallway, maybe kind of giving that little shove. And they would kind of bounce off of me, and then ultimately I ended up bouncing off of one of them.
Yeah.
Then into the wall, and then I was like, I think we got to cut that out.
See, my thing is I still run faster than my youngest, so I still beat him as much as I can because I know that time he beats me, it's over, so just kind of trying to get enough.
Talking up these wins.
Just trying to get as much wins as I can.
Tell them how old this young man is.
He's 9.
Thank you.
But he's in the top 5. He's in the top 5 in the city.
Yes, he is.
In the top 5 in the city in running. So
yeah, he's not a slacker.
I'm still pushing him. Still pushing him.
But he's pushing.
And I'm going to win as much as I can. No, so we spoke a little bit off the air about the Spornado app. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Spornado is a great application that I have recently been introduced to by a couple of cohorts of ours down in Texas.
NFL guys, yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple of those in common. And I have an academy. I currently coach minor pro football down in San Antonio called the San Antonio Hurricanes. And in conjunction with that nonprofit organization, I also have a Knights football academy. And I go around San Antonio for teams that invite me. In particular, youth organizations. We are trying to help underprivileged youth organizations in the San Antonio area get training and education that they might not normally get. In the minor pro, semi-pro world of football, I realized that there were a lot of players that were undereducated in how to go to college, how to take those next steps in their, to gain a higher level of professionalism in their world. And I try to minister to that when I'm coaching these young gentlemen, but it starts with the youth. And I noticed that we have things like Friday night tykes on cable, and that's great entertainment, but I would like to know where these, what's really being taught to these young children, what's being conveyed to the parents about this is how you can do this by, make sure you're guarding yourself the best academic education that you can get. If you think you have all B's, not good enough. You need more A's than B's. You only have one shot to get the best academic record that you can, and it's about the academics. Getting ready for football accordingly, that's the easy part. But the education is a lot of kids did not go to college because they didn't understand how. Mm-hmm. And exactly what we're trying to do is help them understand how to be recruited, how to garner themselves attention. And I was introduced to Spornado because Spornado is a great application. In fact, if you go to Google Play right now, Spornado is so new. it only has about 5,000 downloads off of Google Play right now. And Spornado, it's very easy to sign up for. It's a free application. It's worldwide, every sport genre that you could think of, and it ties in every facet of media that you could social media, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, et cetera, some things that I haven't even heard of. In all sports. Right. It's completely free. Recently, the young gentleman that started the application, Spornado, I don't exactly understand what the business situation was, but Spornado has been turned over to a gentleman out of Houston, Texas, and he is actually garnering, wrong word. He's actually helping underprivileged children through Spornado that have been tapped by academies such as ours, Jeff and Bill. Yeah. To give them scholarship in order to travel around the country with their parents so they can attend these camps and become better. And that's how this is all going to be tied in. So
when I first looked at it, it was scores. It really started to like, hey man, these guys are putting up film. They're letting players set up bios. They're doing all these other things.
Right.
Which is great, because basically you're giving everyone their own recruiting tool to be recruited,
right?
Which is awesome to me.
Well, we any tool that especially when it's free, when it's affordable, you know, and that's what's hard in the world these days. You know, not everybody can afford to go to these camps around the country. This is hard. No, it's expensive for us, and as parents, we understand it's a viable investment, but it's a hard investment. If it's hard for us, it's harder for a heck of a lot more people out there, and we want to make sure that everybody that has the ability academically and athletically gets a shot. It's important.
And how can people log on to Spornado?
Well, it's very simple. When I first went on to it, you just go to Google Play, which is usually the easiest, or your application store if you're a what do you call those? Oh, those iPhone people. Yeah. Everybody in my house uses iPhone. I'm the only Android guy. So I'm an oddball. Yeah, and but
there's still some dinosaurs out there.
Yeah, well, fullback. Yeah. And,
elderly.
But yeah. And just go to your application, whatever situation that may be, and look up Spornado, Spornado, and simply go to register. It's very simple. It's so simple you couldn't imagine, and you can simply log on through, let's say, your Facebook or your Twitter handle, and then it just streamlines everything there for you, and you'll see it takes literally two minutes to set up. It's not difficult at all.
Well, it's certainly affordable.
Free is great.
And the only thing I think that it requires of anyone is that they've got to be willing to dedicate some time to it.
Yeah, well,
and pledge to it.
We're looking to help. In fact, you know, I've been discussing it with my family and a couple of my constituents down in San Antonio, and we're actually considering right now of kicking off next season in the springtime. We might consider bringing the Knights Football Academy up here to Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
You know, and have a camp up here for all the youth that would like to sign up for it. And
we have the contacts, man. But by all means,
we would be very gracious for anything that we could, any help we could get. I think Las Vegas would be a great place to really kick this off. The Knights Football Academy is about guarding the best interest of our youth, and it is simply a local situation in San Antonio. Very small, doesn't have a big footprint yet, but we are looking to go nationally. We're looking to go very large.
Well, obviously, whatever we can do to lend assistance to spreading the gospel,
that's all we can ever ask.
We're certainly more than willing to do so.
Thank you very much.
Springtime in Vegas, the weather can be absolutely spectacular, and I think that it's certainly easy to get to from Utah, Arizona, or California. And it would certainly garner, whatever we can do to garner a lot of attention and get some kids out here.
Appreciate that, gentlemen. Appreciate that.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule.
Sure.
I think you mentioned that you're not heading back till Wednesday.
Yes, we're going to be in town till Wednesday.
Wednesday
is correct.
Okay, thank you.
They know our schedule a little better than
Just
we do.
Keep them off the penny
Well,
slots.
the problem
you guys
is
can
they
say.
fly back to San Antonio, and we have to drive to
country.
Colorado. So we only have them keeping us in line for the next couple of days.
That's a great drive to Colorado. You'll like it.
Yeah,
It's nice.
it's fun time.
But it can be a little toasty this time of year.
All right.
Yeah, that's for sure. But guys, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Really
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. Brian and Peyton Kensky, and Taft High School, San Antonio, Texas, and also the Spornado program.
Yes, sir.
And one more time, how can people log on to that?
Again, just go to your Android or iTunes iPhone application page and just find Spornado, SPORNADO, and register. And you can do it through your Facebook handle or Twitter handle, and it'll streamline everything for you. So you'll see how it works out, guys. It's very simple.
All right. Well, thank you very much again for coming in.
Thanks for having us,
All
gentlemen.
right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to switch gears here and sports. We're going to move into the field of lacrosse. This is Bill Miller and Jeff Belknap, and we are Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back. We are back for round two. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, along with
Jeff Belknap.
And we, as promised, we are switching gears, and we are going from high school football to high school lacrosse. With us, we've got two gentlemen from Faith Lutheran, the now defending champions of lacrosse, Nevada. And I'm sorry, what is the division class?
Well, it's not sanctioned yet in Nevada, so it's
Okay.
still considered a club sport, but it's really the only division in Nevada. I think there's about 27 teams that compete.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
nice.
been around for about 10 years now.
All right.
There's a southern division and then there's a northern division, so
Yeah,
Gotta-
and that's usually the way they've kind of split
just
things
like
up.
other sports.
And to my immediate right, we got Max Schmidt, and next to him is John Greeley. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We had recently the head coach of the football team
Yeah.
from Faith here in the studio.
Yep.
He's actually been a friend of the program.
Our football team, we used to own a football team as well. So
Okay.
he was kind of like, a guy that kind of always hung around. He always had some guys, players or whatever, that were there as well.
He's a good man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Plus, he used to play as well.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Never hurts.
Never, never hurts.
At the pro level.
Never hurts.
Never hurts. Yeah, he can kind of look at these guys and step in there,
Right.
and they actually have to believe him.
Right.
Yeah. Gentlemen, obviously, lacrosse is a relatively new sport to the state of Nevada, certainly local to Clark County.
Yep.
And so, first of all, I've got to ask you your backgrounds. How did you get to Las Vegas? And I'm suspecting you came from somewhere where lacrosse was pretty serious.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio.
Boo.
I'm a big Buckeye fan, huge Buckeye fan. So
You already know who I am.
yeah, but born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. Born and raised a Buckeye, but I went to school at University of Maryland, where that's kind of where I was. Did my schooling. Very good lacrosse program out there.
Oh, absolutely.
And actually just coming
Recent
off the national
champion,
championship, which was huge.
In women's as well? Or?
Yeah, women's and men's. First time in 42
Did the
years.
double,
for the
yeah.
men's. So it was big. But yeah, so that's where I did my schooling and played lacrosse out there as well. And met my wife there, and she was a gymnast, and now is an acrobat in Cirque du Soleil. So
Oh, wow. nice.
that's
My
what brought
goodness.
me out here,
Out here, too.
initially. And
Okay.
yeah, and kind of put myself in the lacrosse community out here, and that's kind of how we've ended up out here and trying to find our way. So
Which show?
She's in the show The Bellagio O.
The O Show, nice.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Great show.
Yeah.
Great show.
I actually worked for Mystere for 4 years.
Oh, did you?
Not as a performer. I
As
actually
like
worked.
tech, or-
I actually worked in Treasure Island.
Nice.
I mean, if you didn't know, I could be the guy that catches people.
Yeah,
believe it or
you're
not.
right, yeah.
But no, I worked for the showroom portion of it.
Okay.
But saw the show 400 times.
Right.
It was a lot of fun to watch those guys on a nightly basis, and just really interesting. To see all the little technical issues. People go there and they watch it. They don't realize the whole everything else that goes into
There's
it.
a lot that goes behind it too. You only see the people on stage, but
Right.
there's almost 100 plus people that put the show on behind
Absolutely.
stage too. So I tell people that she's always. I mean, anyone we meet, I tell that she makes me look bad and athletic. She's a far superior athlete than me.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a quick story. I was challenged one time by my coworkers to arm wrestle one of the girls in the show, which I lost. I mean, she was the bungee girl, so her forearms were like this, and I was like fighting, but she beat me, I kind of sucked it up and moved on, but I knew I was going to lose, but I gave it my shot. Yeah.
One of them. Yeah. There's no narrow down. I don't see a downside there.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or
form. She gave me the business afterwards, but it was okay. It's the good stuff.
John, what's your background?
So I'm from, I guess you could say like a hotbed of lacrosse. I'm from Syracuse, New York. I went to a very small public school that I graduated only 60 in my class. However, it's probably one of the birthplaces of lacrosse. I go to school with a lot of the Native Americans, and that's how the game originated from. So one of the 6 nations, the Onondaga, that's where I live, the Onondaga County, and the nation comes to Lafayette.
Right.
So I was very lucky to get started at a very young age, and just kind of played my whole life, a little bit in the box level, at the field level. Was able to make a pretty good name for myself coming out of high school. And I went to a rival of Max's, so I went to Johns Hopkins.
Nice. I was going to ask you.
And so
real in-state rival there.
It's funny because we played against each other, and the funny thing is, and the cool thing is, we both wore 9 in college. So it's kind of how our paths sort of came together. But we went from right. not hating, but
there was some
rivalry.
Hating, I guess you could say, competing with each other. And I came out here a couple months before Max, and then he came out and got in touch with me, and I was just like, I don't want a Maryland guy. Like, why is he calling me? Yeah. And the rest is history. That's awesome. We hung out. We actually first met up at a Faith Lutheran football game.
Nice.
And it's been awesome ever since.
So how did you guys both get to Faith? Were you part of staff before that, or?
No. So a buddy of mine, actually one of the first kids to ever go Division I lacrosse out of Las Vegas, went to Maryland. His name was Madison Fiore, and he was at Maryland for about a year to a year and a half. And so I knew him coming into Vegas. I knew really no one coming into Vegas. My wife and I knew no one. And so I called him. I said, hey, I'm looking to get involved in lacrosse. Want to help the sport grow out west. Who would you recommend I go to? And he recommended me to the then head coach, James Gravitt.
Yep.
So I went and sat down with him, had some lunch. He welcomed me on the staff, and then we got a hold of John, and that was kind of it.
So good.
It's been 3 years already.
So 3 years, and you guys have already won a state championship.
Yeah, our first year we were
semifinals.
Wow.
Second year, last year we were the finals. We lost by a goal, and then this year we finally got it done. It was
Nice.
It was Faith Lutheran's first ever lacrosse state title. So
it was a unique year because they finally made it one league, like
Right.
throughout the state, the Southern Nevada League and the Northern League, and to win out of our league and go up to Reno. Like Max was saying, it was the first ever, and it's pretty unique, and it was pretty awesome for the program.
yeah.
How is lacrosse up north? I mean, are these programs that have kind of been established a little bit longer than yours, and is there a tradition up there? Or?
There is tradition up there. There's some really good coaches up there. I think they're just a little bit behind in terms of talent level.
Right.
And I'm not sure if it's just kids start to play a little bit later, or they play different sports and they pick up lacrosse at a later age. But at least for this year, they were a little behind athletically.
Mm-hmm.
I think Southern Nevada is fortunate to have really good coaches, and they allow their kids also in the off season to go play for some really good club teams, which take them back east, and they play against some really high level competition. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if Reno's up to that level yet in terms of the off season play and creating better lacrosse players in the off season. I know they have a kid who's one of their goalies up there. He's going to Denver next year, which is a lacrosse powerhouse.
Yeah, it's a good program, right?
So I think in terms of competition level, I think in the next couple of years they'll even out pretty good, especially with the two leagues combined, being able to play each other.
So speaking of that, I was at a party last night with some friends, family party, and I ran into Kellen Lee, which is one of your players on your club team.
Yeah, Big Kel.
Yeah,
he's a good kid.
He's on my team, I think. Right?
Yeah,
he's on our 21 team.
Yeah, the 21
team.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, he's defenseman for us. He's actually been with. So I started when I first came out here. I started a lacrosse club as well called Lacrosse Force.
Right.
We started 3 years back, and he was on our first ever Lacrosse Force team. He's followed us up.
He's a good kid.
Yeah,
great kid. Great family.
Yes, yes. Nita's a good friend of our family as well too.
Yeah, Nita's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. So you guys went 18-0.
Yep.
Swept everything. How do you go forward from there? I mean, from that spot, is it just like looking to repeat? I mean, how do you get these guys on board to continue?
To be honest with you, we had a really talented senior class this year. We had 9 seniors, 5 of which are playing college lacrosse.
Nice.
So we had a very, very talented senior class. So when you talk about what do you do in the years to come, there's not much we can do to replace those seniors, you know what I mean? So we talk a lot about reloading, not rebuilding.
Right.
And I think that's kind of a word we're trying to use here in the next couple of years, because this senior class that we had last year was one of probably the best class Faith has ever seen in terms of their 4-year success level and where they're going to college. So our goal as coaches and our goal as a program is to have that every year, to have kids go off to college every year. And obviously it's great to have a state championship every year and go undefeated. That's kind of, you gotta have a little bit of luck as well, going undefeated. So
what I'm seeing is, this is me from an outsider, but someone that pays attention to high school sports. I see Faith kind of moving up, and I think that they're going to start taking these guys that have just automatically gravitated to, say, a Gorman, and they're going to see, hey man, I can get the same education, Faith, or better. We were talking about the grade point averages with the athletics with Vernon, and actually be on a program that I can get some PT. Maybe instead of backing up somebody that's doing something else. So I really like the direction of what's happening with Faith, and you guys just bought a huge property adjacent to there. I mean, you guys got a lot of stuff going on, and it's good. You guys are at the level you want to be at to watch this stuff grow. It's great.
It's definitely exciting, for Max and I both being from back east, and the culture you see high schools that you look at Baltimore alone, and the Calvert Halls and the prominent nationwide ranked schools and the cultures that they've created throughout the last many years. It's kind of cool to see what we've tried to do start to happen over the last 3 years, and what is going to happen over the next however many years. And that's been fantastic. Unique for us to kind of sit back and just see, and the support has been awesome too. I can't thank Faith enough. The athletic.
Well, if you get to championships, they'll tend to support you.
But even before that, they've been very wide open, which has been awesome.
Well, they have to bought in.
Yeah.
So and clearly you guys have delivered.
Yep.
But more importantly, you're getting these young men up to the next level in college, which is also important. I was relocated back east to New York, and my family and I, we lived in just outside of Rutgers, New Jersey.
Okay.
And just outside of New Brunswick.
Yep.
And my boys played lacrosse. One in just was sort of like more or less PE in elementary school, but my oldest son in middle school played on the lacrosse team. So it was this unusual skill set that when we relocated back to California, they they were like, "You play lacrosse?" It wasn't exactly huge in Southern California.
Yeah.
But it was fun to watch. Rutgers had a pretty decent team, and Princeton had an outstanding team.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we would drive down there and watch some of the games with the kids, and then but it was it is growing more and more, and it's really moving across the country.
I think it just something just came out the other day. It was the fastest growing sport again this year.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the fastest growing sport for
year in
almost
and
a
year
decade.
out.
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
Yeah, the expansion out west is real. You can see the talent level. I'm coaching a team that's the Under Armour underclassmen All-American game. And we go the way that Under Armour does is they put together regions of the best players in each region. They take them back east and they compete in Baltimore. And the West team last year went 6-0. Like the talent out here is very, very real.
That's great.
And it's expanding.
It's expanding huge.
Yeah, you mentioned, of course, Syracuse University.
Yeah.
But not many people realize Jim Brown was an All-American at Lacrosse at Syracuse.
Yeah, absolute legend.
Yeah, so, and as if he needed another tool.
Right.
But guys, we really appreciate you coming in, and thank you so much, and congratulations again. And hopefully, we'll get a chance to go over and actually
absolutely.
watch some games.
Yeah.
We're on board with what you guys are doing, and we're going to be following you guys. And you guys invited me out to some games, and my schedule just didn't work, but we would definitely be out to check you out.
Obviously, whatever we can do to support Faith Lutheran.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
The lacrosse football program, just athletics in general. It's a great school, beautiful location, and that campus is expanding.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thanks guys for having us.
Max Schmidt and John Greeley, the new champions of high school lacrosse from Faith Lutheran High School. When we come back, we're going to change gears one more time, and we've got an old friend of the show to talk about the upcoming PAC, the MAC. We're speaking about Tuff-N-Uff MMA. Bill Miller, Jeff Belknap here. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back. We are back for round three. When I mean round three, that means we're ding, 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 ding. We are picking it up. It's MMA time, and we're so happy to have back a longtime friend of Southern Nevada Sports News, Jeff Myers of Tuff-N-Uff MMA Fighting. Jeff, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thanks a lot, Bill and Jeff, for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here. Always, it's nice to see you guys.
Absolutely, man.
And
Absolutely.
the timing could not be better because it is, yes, again, it is time for another installment of Pack the Mac. And, the last one I went to was actually 2 years ago.
Oh.
And you guys just, really packed that thing out. I mean, and it was just so much fun. But before we get to Pack the Mac, what's been going on in Tuff-N-Uff? Talk to us.
Oh, thanks for asking. I'm happy to tell you that we're doing great. And, of course, we're on our path towards taking over the world and everything, slowly but surely, day by day.
Excellent.
I'm happy to report that my colleague Rona, who you guys know very well, is doing great. She just landed a great new sponsor today, if it's okay. I'd like to thank NutriShop of Las Vegas and give Rona a pat on the back for that one. She got that all by herself. She's She's like a machine, and I'm so proud of her. And thanks very much for asking. We're doing great. We've been just getting real excited for this weekend. I mean, I can't believe it's already here. Yeah. It's this Saturday, and gosh, I know it's going to be awesome, and I'm so excited. But of course, we're a little tiny bit nervous. We get these butterflies, and whatever the saying is, we'll get a little bit of nerves, but we'll get through it, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, because this is a huge event for you, but it's not the only event. It's not like, after last year's, you then start planning on
right.
to, and then everything ramps up to 2017. But you guys are, you've been having these events in southern Utah, and also here, of course, in Vegas. And so tell us about some of the fighters that are now maybe looking to take that next step.
There's so many. Gosh, thanks for asking. I can tell you that it seems like, gosh, all of the kids that want to fight for Tuff-N-Uff, it seems, and I shouldn't call them kids, okay? Some of them are my age. I'm 43 years old, and we've had guys as old as 50, even, believe it or not, fight for us.
God bless them.
Yeah. So I feel as if a lot of times they ask Tuff-N-Uff to, give them a shot because they want to experience what it's like to fight for a professional feeling organization before they go pro.
Right.
So it seems as if we're getting a lot of last amateur fights. So this one coming up on Saturday, I'm happy to tell you that we have 5 titles on the line.
Nice.
And I think that all of these fighters competing in those fights will be turning pro right after this. If not, maybe... if they lose, they might feel like they got to go back to the drawing board and polish up some things. But there are so many that are coming up to the ranks. I can tell you about this particular card coming up on Saturday. As I mentioned, we've got 5 titles on the line. 2 of them are for female titles.
Right.
The main event is between Cheyenne Velismus and a girl named Crystal Vanessa Demopoulos. Both of these girls are incredibly talented. Just machines in the gym working on their craft.
Yeah.
And I expect that you'll see both of these girls in the UFC someday. So it'll be a great chance to come in on Saturday, and then you can say, like, hey, I remember when.
I saw them before.
Yeah, that's a really cool feeling for us, especially as employees of Tuff-N-Uff. That's one, I think, for Ron and I, and the group of great volunteer staff that we have. That's the main thing is when we get to see these guys and girls turn pro and realize their dream, we feel, oh, cool, we had our small part in helping them get there. So I'm happy to tell you about, like I said, that fight. We've got these 2 brothers, the Twin Dragons, they call themselves, Josh and John Kim, coming out from San Diego.
Okay.
They're 135 and 145 pound California state amateur champions.
Okay.
And again, these kids will be going for sure turning pro after this fight. I think they're undefeated, both of them. Have amassed a really great following, and as I said, with the kind of performance they've had in the Tuff-N-Uff cage in the past already, since they fought for us, I would expect that this will be their last touch-up fight before going pro. And I'm telling you, these kids will be in the UFC someday.
Oh, wow. So awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And they call themselves the Twin Dragons, but they're not twins, are they?
They are twins. Did I forget to say that? Wow. I'm sorry,
and,
yeah.
And one of them is actually fighting at 10 pounds higher than the other one.
They could fight at the same weight class. They are, they're twins, right? And I guess they, honest to God, they've even in the past said, oh, this one's injured, I'll step in for this. Yeah, they've done that, you guys. It's a really cool story, and if I may, please, a little backstory on them.
Please, go ahead.
These kids are friends of a very long-time family friend of my brother's and mine from San Diego.
Right.
A guy that we used to work with every day in San Diego. Elias is his name, and I hadn't seen him in many years. I was back in San Diego visiting, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something, and every time I see him, it's like, Jeff, how are you? And I miss your brother, and he's such a nice guy. He told me about his friends, the Kims. He says, Jeff, you have to see these kids, I'm telling you. And I hadn't heard of them yet until he told me, and I started looking around. I'm like, oh my God, they're really impressive, right?
Right.
So here we are now. They fought for us. I believe they've each fought for us twice, and this will be their 3rd time. So for me, to have a little sort of personal connection to their good longtime family friend,
right.
It's a really cool experience for me. And gosh, I hate it that they're competing against my friends. I know, both of their opponents are great guys, and it's both of them. I think Brandon and Cole, who I've become friends with also. It's going to be a very cool experience, but at the same time, it's hard to root for one person over the other when you're friends with both of them, right. And as the promoter, you should be neutral anyway.
You'd like to think so.
You'd like to think so. So
you can kind of turn around and be like,
yeah. No, I'll do that when I'm watching the replay or something. No, I don't do that. I promise. Don't worry.
Have these guys ever fought each other?
No. The twins?
brothers?
Yeah. No, I don't think they would ever do that.
All right.
Unless there was a huge amount of money, right? Like, hey, that would be cool someday. I hope that they could get paid a tremendous amount.
Somebody says, look, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm sure that would give them an incentive.
It would probably be a better fight than Mayweather and McGregor. So.
Yeah. I just read about on my way in as I was walking in, I was scrolling through, and I saw that Mayweather put a deposit down on a date at the MGM. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah,
it was in the news today.
Like.
Yeah.
August 26th.
So, gosh, man, I don't know, you guys. I hope it happens. I mean, I would love to see it. Okay. Do you think it's going to happen?
I mean, wouldn't you like it to see like start a boxing match and then end up where like McGregor just picks him up and pile drives him?
How about this? They could do like first round boxing, second round kickboxing, third round, MMA. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think.
It's obviously got to be safe for both guys, and I don't think McGregor is. I mean, I don't think Mayweather is trained the same way, so it'd be an uneven match, anything other than a boxing match. But I don't think McGregor's got much of a shot.
I don't think so either. But hey, I guess. Well, what do they say? Everyone's got a striker's chance, right? Like I could knock out Mike Tyson, probably not. But if I hit,
you just need that one punch.
He's just that one punch.
I think that. McGregor probably could knock him out with a punch. It's hitting him is going to be the problem.
Right,
He's a very hard guy to hit. So.
Yeah. But, hey, I can't wait. I mean, I hope that if it gives this McGregor a chance to make the kind of money that they do in boxing, hey, who knows? Maybe that'll lead to bigger paydays for future MMA fighters, too. Yeah. I've always hoped for that. I mean, it's really weird growing up watching boxing and seeing the mega pay-per-views and then seeing our guys struggling to make $500. I mean, the professional MMA fighters, in our sport. When I say our guys, I mean our the fighters in our sport. Right. Barely could even pay their training dues. It's really sad.
I think that it's one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. It would probably never happen again. Because I don't believe that you'll have another boxer that carries a cachet that Mayweather does.
Correct.
And another MMA fighter that McGregor carries in terms of his own cachet.
Yeah.
At this time, but the window of opportunity is rapidly closing.
Speaking of window,
it probably won't happen outside of like WWE.
Yeah. Well,
I don't mean to be interrupt, but speaking of the window rapidly closing, and I know we got a limited amount of time, and I don't want to spend all the time. They're great guys, and they don't need any more promotion. Let's talk about Tuff-N-Uff and Pack the Mac with all due respect. So I'd like to let anybody listening to please know they can come for free this Saturday night. Doors opening at 5:30. First fight's at 6. Tickets are available for free while supplies last. I think there's still probably some tickets at all the local Porta subs, every Sports Clips, Las Vegas Athletic Club, Neck and Back Clinics. And then you could also go to unlvtickets.com and download it and print it right there for free.
Out there. Right.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and that is, which is one of the key elements of this is that, we're talking free. So this is...
and these, especially for guys that can't afford the, $500 or $300 that an MMA fight might cost, they can just come check this out, bring their kids, and it'd be a full-on experience.
I hear so many great things, and thanks for letting me talk about it here, you guys. I've heard so many times that people who have come to that Pack the Mac in years past said, hey, I never thought I would like MMA, so here I am at your event, and now I'm hooked. Like, I love the sport. Yeah. So now we've got some fans that may come for future events. And I think also I just want it to be known, this is an opportunity for me to honor my brother who started this company.
Right.
And so it's a great feeling for me to see all these people having like such a great time. And I mean, like when the crowd roars and cheers, that's like the most exciting or the most sentimental I guess I get. I feel like, wow,
there's nothing wrong with that, man.
What a cool experience for me sitting there watching all that's happened to get Tuff-N-Uff to this point. It's a huge honor and tremendous compliment for me to see all these people. And so thanks in advance for anyone that does come, and I hope that I'll see a bunch of people there.
So Florence Griffin will be there signing autographs.
Yeah, he's going to be there. You won't even believe how many cool people are going to be there signing autographs. I think we got Bill and Jeff. You guys are coming. Okay.
I'll sign autographs.
You'll sign autographs.
People will be like, why am I getting this?
I'll sign an autograph.
Who are these guys waiting for? This guy? Who's this guy?
Nobody maybe will take our autographs, but we'll give it to them if they want them.
The shorter line. Look for the shortest line.
The only place I'm thinking, where do I give out my autograph? Like, I got a ticket sitting on my refrigerator at home. I got to go take signatures on there. I don't really get too many people requesting.
Somebody needs a check from me. That's about all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rona's so great. I let her handle the checkbook lately.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Well, one of the good things about these,
go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, one is that these matches, there's not 30 minutes in between a match.
No.
It's these matches are coming at you fast and furious. So, it's not see one and jump up and then maybe run over to this. But by the time you get back, that other match is probably already starting.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I can't give away too many of my secrets, but part of what I think makes Tuff-N-Uff so awesome is that we run it very professional.
Yes.
And try to keep it as tight as possible. And hey, look, any amateur promoter who's out there listening, here's one tip for you. Make it fun for the audience, okay? That's the most important thing. Of course, safety for the fighters.
Absolutely.
But pay attention to, how long it's going. Your delays in between fights can really kill the energy. So
sure can.
Thanks for bringing that up, Bill. In fact, we have so many fights on Saturday night that we have to cut all commercials and everything for the first half. It's going to go like, winner, okay, dark, next fight. I mean, it's going to be that fast.
Ready.
Yeah, that's so it's really a great opportunity, to knock out a bunch of fights really quick.
Good. Well, Jeff, needless to say, we wish you the absolute best this Saturday.
Thank you.
At another Pack the Mac event.
I love it.
Real quick, how can people get tickets?
So they can go to unlvtickets.com and print them or download them, and go to any UNLV tickets outlet like the box office at Thomas and Mack, or go to Town Square or any La Bonita grocery store.
All right. Fantastic. Jeff Myers, Tuff-N-Uff, and longtime friend, and hopefully please don't be a stranger.
Thank you very much.
As long as it is between the last time.
Yep.
And always say hi to Rona for us as well.
I will.
Yeah.
All right. Folks, we're just about at the end of this week's show, and it has been a packed one. It has really gone by fast. We'd like to thank Brian and Peyton Kensky, the first segment. And Peyton is a young man who's here at the UNLV football camp, and his dad also is involved with Spornado, this mentorship program. Please, if you have a high school athlete, any sport, look up Spornado. We'd like to also thank the guys from Faith Lutheran, defending champion, State of Nevada lacrosse team, awesome. Undefeated, 18-0, ran it.
Yep.
Yeah, and of course Jeff Myers of Tuff-N-Uff MMA.
Thank you guys very much.
All right, join us next Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. Thank you very much and have a great week.
God bless.